Okay guys, here's 7-12. It's kind of just a review of some things that we've learned throughout the time. I want to first get a piece of graph paper out and go over how to graph that line. Graph the line. Okay, remember the line is an equation. Y equals -3 times x plus 2. So I circle the equals, I make a wall on the y side. If y is there all by itself, then I'm good, because I can come over here and write mb, and then identify my slope and my y-intercept. Okay, so my slope is -3 over 1. Again, you want to put a 1 under that. That needs to be a ratio, and then plus 2 is your y-intercept. So on the y-axis, I start in the middle and go +1, +2. Then from that point, okay, that's my first point. Point number 1, I go forward 1, but down 3, okay? So forward 1, down 3. Or down 3, forward 1, doesn't matter. There's your second point, forward 1. And you can repeat the process all the way to the end of the graph, and that is the equation. All points on the line make y equal to -3 times x plus 2. Okay, that's how the line looks. Arrows on both ends because it's a continuous graph. Alright, now, next thing. We are going to write an equation of the line, okay? Alright, this is always going to be point number 1 here. Remember, so we go y equals blank x plus blank mb. And we're going to find our slope and our y-intercept, and that's what we can put in there. So I just graphed the line. Now I got the line, and I got to get the original equation. It's like the opposite of what I just got done doing. Now we want to find the y-intercept first when you have a graph. So it's easy to see. +1, +2, +3. So +3 is your y-intercept. Just put 3, 3. Then that's point number 1. Now find a point. Okay, I'm going to cover that up because I don't want to go on that side. I find another point where it touches the grid. Okay, right there. You can go here too, or here. The closer you get, the better you are. Okay, so the slope, it's rise over run. Okay. So the vertical change would be down -1. So -1 is your rise. -1, and then run 1, 2. So -1 over 2. Now you would look at a multiplication table and reduce that -1 by 2, but they're only in the first row. So dividing them by 1 is kind of silly. So it'd be -1/2 times x plus 3. Okay, next one. Y equals, a second, I'm going to go, I need more light here, so I'm going to move my table, okay. Y equals blank x plus blank, so you got your M and your B. Okay, so if I see a graph, it's the y-intercept's easy to find, okay. So it's right there, and that's going to be point number 1. Now that's up 1, 2, 3 again. So 3 is my y-intercept. Then I find point number 2 going this way, okay? Right there would work as point number 2. Okay, remember the closer it is to point number 1, the easier this is. Okay, so the slopes rise over run. Okay, so the rise, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's +2. And then the run would be 1, 2, 3. So +2 over 3. 2/3, because that's only in the first row on a multiplication table. So it'd just be y equals 2/3 x plus 3. That's your equation. I guess I got the table back. Okay, now let's get into what you're actually going to be doing, okay? Write an equation in slope-intercept form with the given slope and y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to make my boxes here. And these first ones are easy, okay? It says M equals -4/5, B equals 7, okay? So y equals blank x plus blank, MB. So that's slope and y-intercept. Now this is easy. M is right there, so my slope's negative 4/5, and then my y-intercept is b at 7. So really, they're just giving you everything you need to know. So y equals negative 4/5x plus 7. Okay, my next one, m equals 5, b equals negative 2. So y equals blank x plus blank m b. Okay, slope and y-intercept. That's what m and b mean. Okay, so my slope is m, so it must be 5, and my y-intercept's negative 2. Okay. These are easy. Okay. Next one, m equals negative 1/3, and b is equal to 2 whole and 2/5. That's a mixed number. But the process is still the same. Okay, so MB. So slope, y-int. Okay, so the slope is negative 1/3, and my y-intercept is b. It's going to be 2 and 2/5. There we have it. Okay. Now the next section of example says write an equation in slope-intercept form with the given slope and solution. Okay. So we've done these in the past too. Okay. So the first example, it says the slope equals negative 2 passing through the coordinate 3, negative 5. So that means when x is 3, y is negative 5. So we know the slope, we also know one of the solutions on it. So I set it up, format it the same way, y equals blank x plus blank, m, b, and then slope and y-int. Now just like on the last problem, the slope is given to me, it's negative 2. So we put a negative 2. The y-intercept is not given to me, it's not negative 5, okay, it's b. So I write y equals m times x plus b, and I'm solving for b. So we get rid of the y, the m, and the x. Now the m is at negative 2 that I've placed up there, and then the y and the x is the coordinate. So negative 5 for y, and then after the negative 2 I put times 3. Now line up your equals. Now look at that plus. Let's drop the plus, but let's put b before it. Okay? And then on the other side, you need to find out what negative 2 times 3 is. It's negative 6. So the wall, I'm just going to circle. I'm not going to make the dot. Don't need it. So get the negative 6 out of there by adding 6. Negative 5 plus 6 is 1. Okay? So 1, and that's your equation. Okay? That quick. Okay, next one. Slope equals negative 2/3, and then passing through the coordinate 9, negative 4. Remember what that means. It means in this equation, if x is 9, y needs to be negative 4. The equation needs that for the slope. So y equals blank x plus blank mb. So slope, y-int. In this section of examples, the slope is right there. It's negative 2/3. But what's different than the last set of examples is the y-intercept is not given to us. That's b. Okay? So to solve for b, we need to use y equals m times x plus b. Okay? And we're circling the b. Okay? The y, m, and the x all get replaced. So m is negative 2/3. Negative 2-3. Okay? That's what I just put down. Y and x, negative 4 would replace the y, and then times 9 would replace the x. So line up your equals, you have negative 4. Drop the plus down and put b before the plus. Now, I need to find out what negative 2/3 times 9 is. So I go negative 2, ABC3 times 9, and I got negative 6. Okay, make the wall on the b side. Don't dot it, that's a waste of time. Okay? Just get your negative 6 out of there. So add 6. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. So 2 equals b. Because if I put a 1 there, I'll just divide by 1. It's still 2. Okay. There we have it. Okay, last one in this section. The slope equals 4 passing through the coordinate 3, -2. So again, x, y. So y equals blank x plus blank mb. So slope y int. Okay, so the slope is 4. Y-intercept y equals m times x plus b. Circle the b because that's what you're solving for. That means every other variable needs out. So m is 4. Y and x, -2 would replace y, and then 3 would replace x. So line up the equals, you're going to have -2. Now this plus sign just gets dropped. I put b in front. Okay, you can always rewrite a plus in different order. 4 times 3 is 12. Then I minus 12. So b, -2 minus 12 is -14. Okay, and that's the answer there. Now in our last set of examples, it says through 2, 1, and 5, 8. Okay, so it's the same setup, y equals blank x plus blank, but now they don't even give us the slope. We have to find the slope ourselves. Okay. So if I don't know the slope, the formula is subtracting y minus y. It's rise over run, but the y-axis rises, the x-axis runs. It's just without the graph. Okay. So compare x's. 5 is higher, so I'd go 8 and 5, and then after the minus I go 1 and 2. Okay, so plus negative, plus negative. So 8 plus -1 is 7, 5 plus -2 is 3. Now I'm going to divide 7 by 3 and I get that. Well, I don't want that, okay? So what I do then, when I get I'm fine with decimals, just not ones that go on forever. When you get one forever on this calculator, you go second PRB equals. So 2 1/3, because then that's something I can easily put into the y-intercept. Okay, so y equals m times x plus b. Okay, m is 2 1/3. Okay, 2 1/3. Y and x, so we'll use 8 for y, and we'll take it times 5 for x. So 8. So I'm going to take 2 1/3 times 5. Wait a second, I screwed this up. That was -8. I was wondering, let's redo that whole thing, okay? 2, 1, and 5, -8. I'm sorry, okay? Because that makes a huge difference. Okay, I missed the negative on my negatives are hard to see on that document. Okay, so xy, again, 5, we'll start with that one, so -8 on top, 5 on bottom. Then 1 on top, 2 on bottom. So that 8's negative plus -1, that's going to give me -9. 5 plus -2 is 3, and then I get a much easier slope to deal with in the math, -3. Okay, then y equals m times x plus b. So the m's going to be -3, the y and the x. We'll go with the 1, 2. So 1 times 2 over there. So I can drop the 1. Remember, when you're solving for b, put the b first, then the plus. -3 times 2 is -6. Then -6, I just add 6. And 1 plus 6 is 7. So 7 equals b. There's your equation. Okay, next problem. Through the points -3, 4, and 2, -1. So y equals blank x plus blank, so mb. Okay, so again, slope y minus y, x minus x. I'll do that over here. Okay. Okay, compare -3 to 2. 2's higher, so -1 on top, 2 on the bottom. Then after the minuses, we're going to have a 4 on top and then negative 3. So we got a negative 1 plus a negative 4, and then minus negative goes plus plus. So the top ends up negative 5, the bottom ends up as positive 5, then I divide and I get negative 1. So your slope's negative 1. So y-intercept, y equals m times x plus b. Okay, so the m is negative 1. Y and x, I guess you have negatives in both, so we'll do negative 1 for y and then 2 for x. Okay, so you write that plus sign drops, you got b, then negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Get your negative 2 to a 0 by adding 2. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1, 1 equals b. Okay, here's your answer. Okay, our last one, through 3 negative 2 and 1 negative 3. Okay, so I want to figure out my slope and my y-intercept. Okay, so y minus y, x minus x is my slope when I don't have the graph. Okay, 3 and 1, 3 is higher, so 3 on bottom, negative 2 on top, then 1 on bottom, negative 3 on top. Okay, so that's negative 2 plus plus 3. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1, and 3 plus negative 1 is going to be 2. Now divide that into a decimal, and you get 0.5. So 0.5 can be my m. Since I don't have to graph it, I'm fine with decimals. Y equals m times x plus b. So m is 0.5. The y and x will go with negative 3, 1. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So we have negative 3, and then I put plus, but I want the b, the variable first, the b. Then I'm adding 0.5 times 1. Well, 0.5 times 1 is 0.5. Then I have to get 0.5 to 0 by subtracting. Negative 3 minus 0.5 is negative 3.5.